Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Discourse Syndicate RG3 with Litecoin Moses, HEX Jesus. How you doing, bro?
Good, man. Came just in time, man.
No shit, man. It's like you're sitting here waiting, and then all of a sudden your little pink goes on right before the show starts. Good time.
If you believe, I will appear.
If you believe. Right on, man. So
different bandana today, huh?
Yeah, man. I got shit for my blue one, so I wore my white one today. I got other colors too, except for one color I don't wear. But anyway,
I can guess.
I got that one too. I'm just joking, man. So, dude, I was bebopping around the Twitters and the YouTubes today, like BitGlenn, what's his name, Adrian.
Okay.
A few other of the YouTubers out there. Today, there seems to be something in the air about everybody's giving the gatekeepers shit about blocking Hex. And it seems to be the theme out there right now. So the tides are starting to turn and pressure's starting to, I mean, I don't want to go poke the bear, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, I got to say something about it too. I mean, Binance, CoinGecko, Coin Paprika,
CoinMarketCap.
I don't even talk about them anymore. It's so disgusting. But you know what? Screw you guys. You guys are the supposed to be providing a service to the crypto community, and you guys are providing a disservice. Right. So you guys no longer should hold the keys to the kingdom. And these exchanges and these service providers in the crypto world, the ecosphere, you guys don't deserve what you guys have. You don't deserve our trust. You don't deserve our patronage. I mean, we got to look at the numbers, and everybody wants to view it and everything. But I say, you know what? Screw those guys. Boycott them. Ban them. Don't use them. If they're going to act like that in the space, because it's getting old and it's getting ridiculous. Because Hex has been around for 6 months now, and they're still doing this crap. And it's ridiculous. It's not what crypto is meant to be. It's not who we are as a community. We're supposed to be the anti everything else, not anti us. So screw all you guys out there that are, fucking around with the ecosystem.
I think because it's one of the other reasons why like the rest of the crypto community is kind of waking up to this shit is because Hex isn't the only one getting marginalized as well. There's a lot of other coins that are complaining like, dude, you're only counting a third of my circulating supply. Our market cap should be higher, and there's a lot of other coins I could just say, but Hex has probably been the most not subsidized, but like kind of like they got something against us for some reason,
Yeah, well, I mean, it's obvious now, and they've had their time to read and study just like everybody else has. They should know by now. Their metrics should have figured it out by now. I mean, it's even as blatant as in one page they'll show Hex, in its proper place, and then they'll hide that and drop it down the list. I mean, it's blatant now, and they need to be held accountable for it. Now, I'm not saying for everybody to go out there and poke them in the eye or whatever, because that'll just make it worse. And they are. I mean, what sucks is they do run the show out there, and but we don't have we can start talking about boycotting them or banning them or not using their shit, because it's getting ridiculous. It's just getting ridiculous.
And like I one of the reasons originally why I thought they were against Hex were because I knew they were up for sale for a while. So I thought maybe they were just trying to clean the books, make everything look as nice, as clean as possible, just trying to sell themselves. But the more that, I mean, after it's sold to Binance and everything, right? I mean, I think it's just another leverage point to extort projects out of money in order to get yourself listed properly. And outside of maybe projects that were like something like anything before 2017 and stuff, anything that's been from here onwards, I bet you there has been some money exchanged to get properly listed.
Well, I mean, and of course, that's just rumors and shit, but I mean, but we can speculate on it, I mean, because of the behavior, because of what we're seeing now. I mean, Hex has legitimized itself. It's proven itself. It doesn't have to prove itself anymore. We've already kicked everything else's ass. We've already launched properly. We've already showed everybody what it's made out of, and we've given everybody ample time to freaking do their goddamn homework. So for them to continue to gatekeep is criminal, and they should be held accountable for it. And the community, the crypto community, everybody out there needs to start talking about it on Twitter and everything else about what these guys are actually doing in crypto, because it's a crime. Because the crypto community is supposed to be the pirates of the financial world, and now we've got gatekeepers. What the fuck is that? That's just bullshit. So I'm a little fired up about it. I was listening to it all day today. I heard some of it yesterday with Richard on his stream. So I mean, it's like anti-crypto for them to be doing what they're doing.
I know.
If you're fudding Hex now, you're anti-crypto. You are the establishment. You are the ones who crypto is actually built, that was built to get rid of. So if you're buying into all that shit and you're fudding Hex now, shame on you. Get the hell out of crypto. Go into traditional finance or some shit, because that's where you belong. Because you guys are not supporting the community, not supporting the projects that are doing what you guys all wanted it to fucking do. You know, that's my 2 cents. So I'm just fucking fired up, man.
It's good. No, it's because it's like it's bullshit, man. This shit
It
shouldn't
is.
be happening after all these years. After all these years,
all these years, 10 years of being, you know, financial pirates. Now we've got gatekeepers and custodians and freaking, you know, third party vendors taking care of our crypto. I mean, what the hell is
have you heard all the
about?
bullshit that's been going on with Coinbase, with them helping the feds, the
Uh-huh.
IRS? Oh,
well, I don't want to get too deep into that and that
I
whole thing,
know.
but I mean, you know, but
Yeah.
you know,
They
we're never gonna have something that is just completely ours away from the monetary system. They won't allow it. They won't allow you to onboard and offboard fiat, you know, without them gatekeeping you somehow so that they can get their freaking tax money. You know, I mean, that's just going to happen. You're going to have to find other ways around it. And we talk about those too. You're going to have to utilize the global tools that are out there for you guys to get your best gains and all that kind of stuff. You know, I mean, that's what the financial world does. So, you know, do your research, guys. Take care of yourselves, take care of your crypto, keep yourself legal, all that kind of stuff. But go look at the tools that are out there. The traditional financial world has lobbied the shit out of their industry so that they can rob and steal from the economy, from all of us, so that they can get their tax breaks, so they can take their money out when they want. So that all that shit, they've done that. So you have to be smart. Those of you who are out there have to be smart and go look at the tools that are available to you so that you can get your best gains for you personally. But just realize you need to stay within the confines of the laws of your country and what you're doing in crypto. And then, you know, but you know what? Internally is what I'm talking. I'm not even talking about that. That is what it is. And you got to deal with it somehow, some way, whatever. But internally, that's what's fucking pissing me off, is that internally, the people in crypto, and I don't even want to call them part of our community because they really aren't. They're the ones that are screwing this all up for everybody by doing shit internally that is making crypto hard, that is making crypto look bad. I mean, it's just ridiculous, you know?
They're just toll collectors.
Yeah.
That's all they are. They're leeches on the fucking system. They're just creating fucking borders and boundaries in order just to toll people. That's all they're doing.
Before I bring Firebun, our freaking special guest, on tonight, Johnny'd been coming in the last couple of times trying to get on the show, and I had a show where I just couldn't bring on. This is a perfect time for me to bring Johnny in because I know why he's in here, because he saw I was all fired up, so he's gonna start fucking blasting too. So, yo, what up, Johnny?
You got me fired up. I was sitting here trying to watch the show. I was gonna be good.
No, I knew it, but you know what? Go ahead, dude. Feed off it because I'm pissed right now. I've been watching it all day long, and I've been thinking about it, and I've been like, man, they're right, man. This shit's getting ridiculous. It's getting old, and it's not even the fudders now. It's not the fudders. It's the crypto institutional jackwads that are fucking with us, and that's what's a crime. I mean, because they're supposed to be trusted, you know.
Yeah, Adrian had it kind of covered. He was calling them the mafia, you know, because they're gatekeeping, but it's kind of a thing where they're not getting their share, they're not getting their take, so therefore they're going to kind of push it off to the side. Hex is listed organically on 30 exchanges, which means it's a coin that we didn't have to pay to get listed on the exchanges. It was actually it was listed on the exchanges because of the interest and because of the community and because they knew they could make money off of it. So it wasn't like this random coin that, okay, we're going to pay these people 1 million of these coins so they have their liquidity and then we'll go ahead and list it on the exchange. We actually didn't do that because Hex made no promises, right? They weren't paying anybody off to get listed. They haven't done any of that stuff. So now you've got these Binance and CoinMarketCap, they're not getting their cut. So they're going to push us down the list and push us down the list. Now, where I think this is going to turn around is plain and simple, is if something is revolutionary and you try to repress it and more people start being boarded externally, that becomes the more people, and then you become obsolete.
Yep.
So a warning for these companies that want to not tell people the truth. What happens is, as the onboarding continues, they become less and less relevant. You know, the YouTubers right now that are on the wrong side of history right now, where they're saying, oh, well, blah, 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 blah. You know, they make themselves look like idiots, because what happens is they end up on the wrong side of history. So that all straightens itself out eventually.
Right.
And it will take time. And yeah, we're gonna get pushed down the list because we're not paying them off.
Yeah.
They want their cut. It's plain and simple. And we're gonna have to seek alternate routes of getting the word out. You know, this show is great for that, because it gets the word out to people, lets them know what they're missing. And I think every YouTuber has a responsibility to speak the truth and say, look, you know, this is going on. You might want to pay attention, because if it happened to Hex, what other projects might have been really good that could have went somewhere, but didn't, because of the resistances that they were met with.
Right.
Yeah, and why are they doing it? What shit projects are they lifting up? You know,
Yeah,
if they'll,
and that's
Their own.
hurting people too.
if they'll cut the legs off a good one, you know, what are they doing to the bad ones? You know, that are still in there. I mean, how many
Johnny.
shit coins that have scammed are still sitting on freaking CoinMarketCap with legitimacy? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Johnny, that's a chandelier, my guy. Wow.
Yeah,
That's
like,
a chandelier, man. You beat.
I've got lots of them, my friend. Lots of them.
hey, so let me throw a shout out to the. I haven't done this much, and I got to start doing this more. So let me throw a shout out to the chat. Yeah, we got Ballet Brand is in there. What's up, dude? Hexology, as always, our man Tiago. Tiago had to go and hang. He it's too late where he's at, so he had to grow, I think.
Shout out DC.
Crypto Orange. Yeah, man, this is going to be awesome. We're going to get Firebun up here in a minute and let him have at it. We got some really good stuff to talk about tonight about the benefits of emergency end staking. And the reason that I wanted to do this is because it was touched on the last couple of days with Richard's show that he did yesterday, and a couple other people have talked about it. We are past that 50% point for some people who have staked. And now people are seeing the value of shares and pushing those out further and you know, getting more shares because of that. So emergency unstaking has become something that you might want to consider to increase the size of your bag. I know that when we had Kyle on the show, he was talking about it, that there's situations where it may be beneficial for you to do so. So we're going to run through the math on that. Firebun's ready to do that, so we're gonna hook it up. Crypto Orange, yep. Motley Investor, Dave Morales, yep, always with us. ABCD123, what's up, bro? Our boy Ryan Lopez, Cutthroat. Let's see who else we got. Johnny Hasselroth.
Hexologist.
Is Hexo in there?
Yeah, he's at the bottom.
Man, freaking Hexo's like a champ, dude. He works and works and works. He twits and twits and twits, does his show, and then he comes and hangs out with us. Freaking love that guy, man. He's the best. Hardest working dude in all of Hex. He was getting shout outs from is that Bit Glenn today too, because he was in the chats chatting it up, and Bit Glenn's like, dude, you're a freaking animal, man, doing shows every day. He goes, I couldn't do it, you know.
And he's so damn positive all the time.
And he's positive.
It's awesome.
They don't make him any better than that guy, man. I'm telling you, we got to have a guy doing the show every day. They don't make him any better, any stronger. And that's my brother right there. So Hexologist,
The giggle stream
gets the props. Yodin, Motley Investor, staff from Hex Live. Hey, what's up, bro? Let's see. George Chops. It's because the Hex doesn't require exchanges. Okay. Oh yeah, they don't like that, do they?
Yeah.
No.
Let's see. Alan Bittner. What's up, dude? Yep. See you out there all the time too. That's why it's even more important to support our community from within. Exactly, bro. Exactly. We all got to get together on this and start using our strength and our numbers to go out there on Twitter. Crypto Twitter is freaking ripe for it, man. It's so ripe because people's opinions. I mean, I don't go out there and screw with people and shit post. I put facts up. I make them think a little bit, you know, the things that I post. I mean, every once in a while I shit post, don't get me wrong, but you know, sometimes I just got to slap somebody, but you know, but making them think is what's important. So if you can do something and make them think, you know, Lazor is freaking badass at it. He's really, really good at that. Yeah. Ash, hey bro, thanks for being here. Thanks for telling everybody. Yeah, smash the like buttons, guys, and subscribe, because we're getting close. We're getting close. We want to hit 1,000. Get the show up there. Get the algorithms moving. Let's see. DC, yo, what's up, dude? T, thank you. Well said. RG says.
Hexyoda, meme lord. What's up?
Yes. Where's Hexyoda? And Tiago's in here. Who else? Yikes. Kinetics. DC, what did he just say? He said, when I was a noob. I missed that. Sorry, dude. I just freaking missed that. The chat just zoomed on me. And it says,
David Morales.
P155 wrecked pirate. One of our cutthroats says, even pirates, before they attack another ship, hoist a black flag. What up, Sex? Oh, right on. So that's shout out to the chat. Thanks, guys, for getting involved and hanging with us. So Johnny, before I throw you out of here, because I'm sorry, dude, I got to get Firebun up here. You got any more rant? You got any more rant, bro?
Yeah, I think the big problem with Hex is the fact that it is fundamentally different. It doesn't require
it doesn't require the help of the
you know, you get to hold your keys. It's like all of the stuff that crypto is supposed to be. And
they weren't ready.
It doesn't. They weren't ready for it to come out, and they're like, "Oh crap! Now what do? We got to hide this thing, because if people start using this thing, they're not going to use our things.
Yeah.
They're going to stop using our leverage trading. They're going to stop using our.
Uniswap jacked them, man. Because if it wasn't for Uniswap, we'd be at the mercy of them fucks. You know what I mean? And we're not. We're not at the mercy of them. It's like, oh, okay, we got another exchange. Cool.
Right. I mean, Coinbase is listing 18 more coins. Do we care?
There's like one non-shit coin in those 18 coins.
And again, do we really care? I mean, it just doesn't affect the people that hold Hex.
No, it doesn't.
I guess in the same way, that's why they repress us, because they can't affect us. We're outside of that big trading, I mean, you're paid to hold your keys and and stake off, not to be on those exchanges. So
yeah,
that's how it is.
But
go ahead, get Firebun in here, and I'm interested to hear this.
Thanks for popping in, bro. Appreciate you, man.
Dude.
Good cut.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, so without any further delay, and I'm going to let him rant too, because I know he's got something to say too. and he's smarter than fucking all of us. Yo, what's up, Firebun?
Yo, what's going on?
Firebun.
Dude, look at his studio, man. It's like crazy. Badass. It's badass. Right. He's got those what are those paintings on your back?
These are just plates. They're just like metal plates on magnets, basically.
Yeah. And then, he couldn't hear you, so he has to cut back in because he can't hear. Now, what's that? You've got like every YouTube freaking lighting director or whatever had the freaking light you got.
It's like a salt lamp that my brother gave me. It's all right.
You got it set up like you're like dial.
It's sending out positive energy.
Yeah. Okay. What do you use for a camera? I'm looking for a good camera. Right now.
Just some Logitech camera, 1080p thing. Yeah.
That's what I use. I use a Logitech, but I want to get a real camera, so we can make it look a little nicer, a little more production value for the peoples.
Right. So now I can hear Firebun.
Yo.
Yeah, I can hear him.
Dude, you heard what we're talking about, right?
Oh man, I was like, "Let me out, dude! Let me out from backstage."
I wanted to.
I'm on the front lines with these people, dude. It's bad, and it's been this way for a while.
Because you actually go and respectfully you write to them, and I've seen some of your letters that you've sent to some of these exchanges, like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" And then I see you get a little bit tougher with them, and then it's still
lately it's like, okay, and these coins meet those requirements. And then I just sent them a bunch of screenshots. I was just looking at my most recent email with CoinGecko.
Yeah.
And they were like, we will not change our decision anytime soon in respect to adding circulating supply for Hex.
Wow.
It's like,
Fucking douches.
yeah. So, but yeah, dude, I'm on the front line with the Uniswap team pull requests, MetaMask, Coin Paprika, CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap. I mean, Coin Paprika is the only place that's actually like responds frequently, but they did slash the market cap. So
I know. What the
Fire, it looks like you took the fucking spice, man. You look good, man.
thanks. Dude.
I know.
Dude, this is so my hair is like really long, and I'm under full quarantine here basically.
Okay.
So I had my sister cut it, so that I was like, fuck me up. It's not bad,
That's
right?
good, man. That's good.
Yeah.
My barber
Hexo
got
said you
fucking
could
shut down.
literally lick the salt lamp. I guess Hexo's been out there licking salt lamps. He said you can lick it. So dude, first of all, thank you for doing all that, because that's something that we don't talk about much, you know, about the work that you've done. I mean, it's one thing you've got your site and all the work that you do on that, and this what we're going to do tonight here. But you've been an advocate. You've been writing letters like on a regular basis to all of these gatekeepers. So this is a perfect thing for you to kind of get fired up about and talk about. I mean, have you given up? Are you still at it?
Dude, I'm
need
still at it. I follow up on requests and open up new ones, and I've got all emails too. So
Champion.
it's like I'm hitting them from multiple directions.
Can you use like a group of people that can help you? I mean,
I don't know. I think like if we coordinate, it'll be like too obvious that we're sending at the same time. So I think if everyone individually,
what if you guys rotate, like, okay, well, we're all going to write a letter on Friday. You hit Paprika, you hit Gecko, you hit Boom, and then you guys all do that. And then next week you all rotate and send to a different place.
Something like that could work. But I mean, it's easy enough, right? Like sending requests to them it doesn't take much time, and it's like mostly boilerplate for me at this point. The thing that's sad though is like I've gone through the top 200 tokens on CoinMarketCap like individually to see if there was anything we were missing, right? Dude, I can't identify it. There are a couple of tokens in particular that like definitely shouldn't meet the requirements, but they're in the top 200. So it's like I can't find what we're missing. At first it was like, okay, maybe we needed to get on these exchanges. Maybe we need that liquidity on the exchanges. And now it's just like, dude, they're gatekeeping us for whatever reason.
How about going after sponsors now? Is that too anti?
I have no idea.
You know, I mean, shit, why not? Why not tell them, you know what? Start hitting their sponsors. That's where the money is. That's the right. You know, you're just complaining now. You're just a Hexican complaining. They know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
They know that you're shilling for Hex and you're just complaining and you're not going to get anywhere with them. But I mean, they've got freaking advertisers that they use. You know what? You may want to put a community letter together. That's what they're talking about in the chat right now. You know, put a community letter together. Talk to some lawyers, have them help write it, and then send it to their sponsors.
I don't have any. If you guys want to get creative with it, that sounds.
I'm just talking shit right now.
Anything more?
I'm just stirring the shit pot.
Yeah,
baby.
that's what I'm doing. I'm just like trying to catch on something on the other end. So for a while, like I probably sent like 30 requests to verify Hex market cap on Coin Market Cap in particular. The first 20 times they reply with like a boilerplate, like, we have an automated segmentation system and it is working as intended. Dude, they don't even reply anymore. So I don't know if like we got some traction or if it's like they just filter verify market cap to the trash. I'm not really sure on that, but it's really sad, honestly.
Yeah. That's some bullshit. Because I know you've been trying for a long time, even like
a
long
time.
Yeah,
months.
Yeah, you've been working on it for months.
So like, I mean, the best we can do is keep doing what we're doing. they have these data partner exchanges like HitBTC, Buybox, CoinSuper that they have listed as like, I don't know if they like provide data, some sort of specialized data that allows CoinMarketCap to see further into what's happening. But we just got on HitBTC, which is one of their partners. So I hit him with an email. It's like, what else? Like, give me something, please. Like, what else can we do? We just got another one. And that takes us up to like 25. I think we're on 24 of the exchanges that they track that are centralized, and then Uniswap as well.
Right.
So it's obvious. I mean, it's obvious. It has become very, very obvious. You know, thought it was just for a while there. Okay, we get it. We're new. Okay, we get it. There's lots of FUD. Okay, we get it. You know, but now it's like, okay, we don't fucking get it no more. We've looked at all the metrics. You guys are bullshitting. You guys are full of shit. You're bullshitting. You're fucking with us, and we don't like it, and we're not going to take it anymore. So now it's to the point where YouTubers are starting to talk about how Hex is being gatekeeped, and they're not. They're like new to Hex. Like Bitcoin is kind of like he's kind of new to Hex, and he's just started talking about it. And his show is based on other cryptos. I mean, today he got hammered so hard in his chat. He's like, "Oh shoot! Well, we gotta talk about Hex today because that's what everybody in the chat room's talking about, you know." And he did, and he talked about Hex, and he talked about this gatekeeping shit that's going on. And it's like it's obvious to people who are just becoming aware of Hex, and they're going, "Well, wait a second. When I look at other coins, you know, I don't see this." So it's just helping to create more FUD. It's just helping people like Tone Vays be able to call it a scam, you know. It's just, and they talked about him too, and these maxis and all the shit that they gave Hex, you know, and they were, it's going on everywhere. Now everybody, the mainstream's starting to talk about it, you know, like, hey, you guys are fucking up, man. You need to give Hex its deserves, and give Richard what he deserves, and that's props. And you know, and Richard got pissed off, you know, months ago about this, and said, hey, you know what, we deserve respect for what we're doing here, you know, for what I've done. I built something good, and you guys are fucking gatekeeping. You guys are being assholes about it. And that's not crypto, man. That's not what we were, you know, that's not what Satoshi made freaking Bitcoin for. I mean, it just blows my mind that that crypto has forgotten that's so far from them now that they're like acting like little institutional bitches, you know. Right. They're acting like little bitches out there, and that's what I'm calling you guys. All of you fucking gatekeepers are a bunch of bitches because you guys don't belong in crypto. You don't belong. It's just bullshit, man. Bullshit. What about you, Litecoin? What do you got to say, man?
This whole thing's supposed to be libertarian. I mean, an anarchist, right? The anarchists started Bitcoin.
Fucking and then pirates, man. We're fucking pirates.
Like, this whole thing's supposed to be free. I mean, I want us to be on more dexes if possible. You know, like we should be trying to get on Kyber Network or IDEX, because like I'm seeing Kyber Network starting to kind of grow in volume. So that should be an exchange we're kind of pushing towards, because it's outside of that. Like a lot of people are using Kyber Network and IDEX to get into other coins. So because I'm seeing because there's a lot of restrictions for U.S. investors. So these dexes are people are really starting to open their eyes to Uniswap and these other dexes. Like, oh wow, I can actually move my coins around like freely, like I should be able to. So I'm saying let's just focus more on that, and it's just going to become so evident later on in a couple months, especially like after around big payday. Everyone's going to be like, holy shit, what the hell did we miss? Like, it's, you know,
you're right, and they're not necessary, but they need to be exposed. They need to be exposed for who it is that they are and what they're doing. It's only going to help in their demise is what it's going to do. Because once Uniswap and Hex start to take off, people start to understand what it is, and they go, oh, wow, this is how crypto was supposed to work, you know? Then all those other things are going to get shoved aside just as fast as they came up. Because let's not forget, they weren't shit before 2017 hit. They weren't shit. None of them. These guys are just all a couple years old where they found their fame and fucking fortune. So they can go away just as fast as they showed up. And more than likely they will, because Hex ain't going nowhere. Hex got turned on, and you can't turn the fucking thing off. Those people can be turned off, though. They can be turned off. And they're going to be.
Sounds dark when you say it like that.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. How old are they? How much clout do they really fucking have? What do they got? What do they got? They got 2 years? They got a couple of years of being popular in
Right.
crypto. Really?
If we're being for real, 3 years tops on all, literally all of them.
Nothing. It's nothing. Their little industry is nothing. And if they don't start watching what it is they're doing, they're gonna wreck themselves, because people are gonna lose confidence in them. They're already starting to. I'm starting to see it. The writing's on the wall. They're gonna get exposed for who they are, and I think they're gonna end up on the wrong side of history. Let's just put it that way. I think that's where they're headed, the wrong side of history.
Right.
So
yeah, one of the concerns that I have is, like,
turn the fan on.
I don't know that they'll respect decentralized exchanges at CoinMarketCap now that it's owned by Binance.
Oh fuck no, they're not going to.
So,
They're
like-
afraid.
Like, they added this new confidence percentage. And I think it takes into account, like, probably volume and liquidity, where they measure certain bid-ask spread.
Yeah.
What I would like to see, and what I've, like, requested and tried to help with, is getting the synthetic Uniswap order book implemented for CoinMarketCap. So I literally looked up their API specification and made it match that. But then they said it needs to come from the Uniswap team directly, which is like, okay, it's a decentralized exchange. So I don't know that makes that much sense. But
I think the Uniswap team should just make something like unit market cap or unit charts, something like that. Because I mean, right, that's one big thing missing on Uniswap right now is a chart, which would be kind of cool.
I gotta put this up. So ABCD1234 says Kyber Network has stated that they want paperwork from lawyers on Hex's legitimacy before they would ever list. We've got 3 fucking audits and no other crypto that they list that they've got. Look at the shit coins they got. I mean,
half the exchange of shit coins. What are we talking about?
What's that?
Half the Kyber exchange fucking coins
yeah,
on there
that's
are
what I'm
shit
saying.
coins.
Just
fuck, man.
It's I can't believe that crypto has become this. It's a shame. It really is a shame. The reality has left the building, has left crypto. Reality is gone. We're no longer a group of technology folks. We're no longer pirates. We're no longer independent thinkers. We're institutionalized, and that's what we want. Give us our institutionalized freaking Bitcoin, and let us sit here and suck on the teat of Bitcoin until it pumps to 20K one more time. Fucking God, it's pathetic. Crypto, you guys are fucking pathetic. Pathetic.
Tell us how you really feel, RG.
Yeah, God, it's just such a joke, man. And I hate the fact that I have to, like, bash Bitcoin, because I love Bitcoin. It's like my fucking grandfather. You love your grandparents, but you're not going to go surfing with them. You know what I mean? It's like we got to move on. We got to go with our lives. It's okay to nostalgically look at Bitcoin, but we're in technology, guys. We need to move forward. We need to expand crypto. We need to make it what we wanted it to be, not fucking tamp it down and crush it and make it, this freaking thing that it is. It's pathetic. It really is pathetic. Look at yourselves, crypto. Look at yourself, maxis. Really, wake up in the morning and look in the mirror and tell me if you really like who the fuck you are and what you've become. Do it. I'll bet you don't. It's not where you started. It's not where this thing started. You guys, look at yourselves in the fucking mirror. You're pathetic. That's
80% of maxis got wrecked, and that's why they became maxis. I mean, it's sort of like they all joined AA or something.
The thing that I hate is, like, the Hex community has actually provided new value to crypto through onboarding people that may not have been in crypto to begin with. I know that there's been bugs identified in open source code from Hex developers working on it. Uniswap.vision came out of it and gets no props from the Uniswap team. It's like, we're adding actual value for their users, but they don't give us an ounce of respect. And that's what makes me sad, is because, like, we're actually improving things, and it would be great to work in tandem, or to work cooperatively with them, but it's like we got to work against them basically. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a war of attrition, man. But it's what's going to end up happening with the real tipping point in Hex is it's going to be the community size is going to be too large to ignore, to the point where like everyone's gonna be like, what the hell are y'all doing? And then
we're growing. We're growing.
Yeah,
we're growing. The intelligent people are growing. The voices are growing. Twitter's growing. YouTube's growing like freaking crazy. I mean, all the content that's getting put out there on Hex now, and the direction we're taking crypto. We're not bashing other coins. We're not bashing other things. We're saying there's a better way to do it. This is the way that we were supposed to do it. This is really what, Satoshi's vision is for crypto to move in this direction. DeFi, get rid of middlemen, do the things that let's go in the direction we were wanting to go. Let's not just sit back there and look at what could have been.
Right.
That's what it is. What's the saying? One door closes and another one opens. Well, the door is closed and they're all standing there with their backs to the open side looking at the closed fucking door. That's what they're doing right now. The door has closed. It's time to move on, guys. There's a new way to do crypto, and Hex is the way to do it.
Yeah, and the way to Hex to prevail is through honey, not vinegar. If you've seen all these other projects, how the way they go into it, they like the XRP guys, not to shit on them too much, but them going into other communities and them just throwing like snowballs at everybody, like your coin sucks, fuck all this stuff, this and this. That's not how you win people over. You win people over by being good people. Yep. Posting content, like you just and then also humanizing yourself a little bit. There's a lot of people with like I understand having an avatar on your Twitter and stuff, but like showing your face as much as you can. I know some people can't, but just showing that these are real people. That it isn't like some pirate. Yeah, well, yeah. You can wear a pirate hat on stream. I mean,
I gotta get one. But you know what? So what you were saying is exactly right, dude. That's the mature, the proper way. That's the wise way to go about this. You catch more flies with the honey and vinegar. I want to stir the shit pot on this show. That's what this is for. However, when you're out there and you're working people, he's correct. And there's a book, and I'm gonna give everybody a little life lesson. There's a really, really old book that everybody should have read in their lifetime, and probably a lot of people have read it. But there's a success. I have a success library, I call it, and one of those books is How to Win Friends and Influence People. And you should have already read that book. It helps you to understand the side of an argument where you can actually talk to other human beings in a proper manner. I've always had a hard time with that because I was always like, I was a Marine. So it was like, when I got in an argument, it's like, no, fuck you. Okay, time for you to die type of shit. It's like, from zero to fuck you. And it doesn't, I had a hard time with argument. But as you can tell, right? But that book helped me a lot to understand somebody else's point, how to win friends and how to win people over through actually seeing, listening, and talking less, and then passing on the proper information. It's a great book. So, How to Win Friends and Influence People. That's just old man tip. Read that. So, let's get on to what we were supposed to do. Our purpose today. So, some other stuff that's been going on out there that people have been talking about. Now that we've reached a certain point with the process of the launch period here, once we hit the halfway point, people's stakes started to mature enough to where they were actually at par if they were to emergency end stake them, that their principal wasn't going to get damaged, because we all know that if you staked and you get out too early, you wreck the shit out of your principal. Mm-hmm. So the only people that this is really applying to is those people who are starting to hit that 50% mark of your maturity of your stakes that are ending either now or after big payday. So the reason Firebun's on here to help us with this math is because he's actually talked to he was talking to Richard a couple days ago, and I saw him throw the maths up on the chat, and I'm like, you know what? That's something that we need to really talk about. It's one thing to see the metrics, but it's another thing to like take an actual stake, look at the dates, look at when the maturity dates are, how it won't get wrecked, and why emergency end staking that stake and pushing it out further to get more shares. Because here's the thing, everybody knows that shares are what's important. And some of us are looking at our stakes going, hey, you know what? I might have put a little too much into this stake too early, and maybe I want to unstake that and throw half of it out 10 years, half of it out 5 years, or something like that, versus trying to realize that stake, in 351, 352, 353 days, whatever. So that's what we're going to do right now with Firebun. We're going to go over it. I think he's got some examples that we can pull up so that we can kind of go step by step through it, and he can explain it. So,
oh yeah, we're doing a full breakdown to the best of my ability, since I talked to RG3 this morning about it.
Right. So, and then of course, just let me disclaimer this. So that obviously, I've told you before, anything on Discourse Syndicate, it should be taken with a grain of salt, and it is definitely not financial advice, because all I do is eat shit, bark at the moon, and I'm part of crypto, so you should never trust anybody. But if you're looking for somebody to do the math, don't ever trust me, but I'm going to bring people on here that can do the math for you. And then you need to do the research on your own stake, look at your dates, and see how your stake might fit into this program here. So without any more bullshit,
all right.
If you want to share your screen, you can share. I don't know if you know how to do it. You could share just a Chrome tab or an application.
I think. Just let me know if you guys. We might have to go like full screen. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'll pull it up here. Let me see. All right, let me
do this and zoom in.
No, I can do something else.
Okay.
How's that? Can't see us, but
okay.
Hold on one second, bro. Let me pull one more thing down here. Let me get my little treasure map off of here so that we can see it better. There we go.
Okay.
And the skies part.
Okay. So first thing, quick shill. This hex.wiki site, I actually deployed this a long time ago, but I never maintained it. So I handed it off to my friend who's also in Hex, and he's the one that kind of has been abstracting information into here from like the layman's guide and just like general information. So it's kind of easier to understand and like link people to. So this is what we're going to be looking at right here, this penalty calculation. And we're going to apply it to some active stakes, and you guys can see how it changes. So one thing that's important about the penalty calculation is it scales with your interest received. So as you get more interest, your penalty increases. However, it'll decrease or increase depending on the length of time that you served of your entire stake. So what I mean by that, and I'll show you guys a chart for what that means exactly. So basically, if you serve more than half of your committed days, then this will be less than 1, which means your penalty will be less than your interest earned. So let me say that again. If you serve more than half of your committed days, because this is a static number right here, if you serve more than half, then it's a fraction that is less than 1 at that point. And that's multiplied by your interest received. So it'll be less than your interest received for your penalty here, because the final calculation is principal minus penalty plus interest. And what this looks like on a chart. So I'm not like an Excel pro or anything, but this is, I just put together a 200. Oh, let me move this. Zoom in. Okay. So what this is right here is this is penalty in multiples of interest. So what you're seeing right here is after the first day, your penalty is going to be a big multiple of your interest. And that's because you've only served such a short period of your stake. but at the same time, your interest is so small that the penalty will likely be negligible at this point. Now, there is one caveat here. After big payday, your interest is going to be massive with a very short span of time served.
So this is something that can really only be done on stakes before big payday and before big payday, and if you've hit that halfway point.
That would be so you can end it after big payday, but the primary thing is if you do not want it to hit your principal, you need to serve more than half of the days that you said you would.
Gotcha.
Okay, so what you're seeing here, this is a 200-day stake. And you can see right here at day 100, you cross over the threshold where the penalty starts to become less than the interest. So again, once you cross the halfway point, the penalty becomes less than the interest, and those are both added together. Well, it's interest minus penalty. So if your penalty is less than your interest, then it won't hit your principal. So what you can see here is the curve is like very pronounced at the beginning, and then it kind of starts to taper off. And something that's interesting that I guess I didn't really think about is it ends at about 0.5. And what that means, assuming this is right, which I base it off of the wiki in the layman's guide. What this means is if you emergency in stake, you will lose half of your interest minimum, because it's going to be half. See, this is day 199, and 0.5 would be the multiple against your interest. So you take the penalty multiplier and you multiply your interest, and it would be times 0.5 at this point. So you're basically throwing away half of the interest that you've earned up until that point. Wow. And here's another look. This is after you cross the kind of the tipping point of halfway through. So this is day 100 up until day 200. And you can kind of see that the slope of the curve really kind of like slows down as you get towards the end of it. So now what does this mean in the larger picture of things? What it means is, one, if you don't want it to hit your principal, you stake half of your days. Two, if you get like mega interest and you're only a little bit through your stake, you do not want to emergency in stake because it'll be just a huge multiplier and then hit against your principal.
So what you're saying is that the interest that you've accrued also affects that too.
Yeah, the interest directly affects the penalty. Okay. It's both the interest you've received and the amount of time that you've served of what you said you would serve, essentially.
Right.
Okay. So if you have big stakes that are ending and you hit your halfway point, it may not be beneficial to do so because the interest that you've gained might start wrecking your principal.
Right. Well, it wouldn't wreck your principal, but if it's a long stake and you've made it halfway through already, do you want to just throw away all that interest after you've locked in like a pretty good share price? Assuming
so at the halfway. Okay, so let me just to re-understand this. Maybe some other people are thinking like I am. So at the halfway point, you've saved your interest. Your interest is safe. I mean, no, your principal is safe.
Yes.
Your principal is safe. Yep. After that, your interest is what's at risk. So pretty much the day one after your halfway point, your interest is shot.
Got it.
Yes.
And then
your gamekeeper fills up until half. If you emergency in stake, it slowly fills up. And the best that you can do is get half of your interest if you emergency in stake, like on the last day.
And what happens if you emergency in stake on the last day, like a day before your stake expires?
So based on this, it appears you would take your interest, multiply it by 0.5, and then add that to your principal.
So you actually, so here's a scenario then. So if you were to, so let's just say your stake is coming up on November 20th, a couple of days after big payday. So you go all the way almost up until it's time for you to end your stake.
Yep.
And then
we'll look at that example in particular. I have a stake.
Because if you emergency end stake it at that point, then you push it all out. You get to keep your big payday most of your interest and your principal.
Mm-hmm. And I have a specific example that will look at that, and you can see kind of how your share rate can change from doing something like that. But before we do that, there is one other thing in the code that is good to know, and that is the minimum. So the minimum. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back to the formula. So half of committed days will always be equal to 90 if the stake was less than 180 days. So half of the committed days will always be equal to 90 if the stake was less than 180 days.
Oh, okay, so if it's less than 180, it's always 90. 90 is the minimum.
90 is your halfway mark to not hit your principal, basically. So here's a sample 100-day stake where 90 is the point at which you will start to not hit your principal if you took a penalty. So that's something to keep in mind. Yeah, that's something to keep in mind.
For short stakes.
For short stakes, yes.
So,
yeah.
And that's for, we're calling short stakes anything under the 180 days.
Yes. Yep. Anything under 180 days this applies to, because half of the time served will always be equal to 90.
Gotcha.
So if it's 160 up to 90 days, and once you pass that point, then you're not going to be hitting your principal with your penalty.
Gotcha.
Okay. These are the only charts that I put together, those three. Is there anything else you guys want to ask about this? If not, I've got some examples.
Yeah, let's just go over your examples. I think I understand it. I don't see anybody that days in retirement. I don't think anyone's asking any questions yet. But I'll keep an eye on the chat to see if anybody has any questions.
Right.
I actually have a full sample, so if you want to put me back on the screen, we'll run some numbers.
There we go.
So here is stakes that are ending between November 23rd and November 30th. This is after Big Payday. So these are some that might want to consider emergency end staking if you want to try and get more shares. Maybe you didn't think the shares were that important, or you just wanted to get Big Payday and get out, and you've changed your mind since then. This is a scenario. These are some stakes that would kind of fit that criteria. So I pulled up one here. This one's for 100,000 hex. Let me zoom in a little bit. This stake right here is for 100,000 hex. It started on December 5th, and it ends on November 29th. It's not an auto stake, so this person could do this if they wanted to. But what we're going to do is we'll go ahead and calculate what their penalty would be, just so you guys know that it can be done by hand and that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Because this one has actually gone over its halfway point, so its principal is safe.
Okay, let me get out the calculators, guys. We're about to get technical.
Oh boy, we're doing math on stream. Firebun is going to show everybody that you can do math on stream. You can.
Okay.
One for each guest.
Here we go. So you have 360 days committed. So, and this part of the formula is you take half of your committed days. So 360 divided by 2. The days served, I enter the address on hex.live. So you can find the stake right here. And you can see started on day 3. It's ending on day 364. And let's see. So days served 188. So it's half of committed days divided by 188. And you can see that this is less than 1 already. So it's going to be less. Your penalty will be less than your interest received. Now we can take this right here. So
you got a little bit of interest and your principal now.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So you take this number right here, 4232, and you multiply it by that one on the other side. So this is what your penalty would be. So you'd end up with around 200 hex in interest if you end staked right now, plus your principal. Okay?
Okay.
So now we can look at what that would mean if you wanted to restake it. And let me get these out of the way. So
we took 100,000 stake that went past the halfway point.
Yep.
and we are now at 100,200 hex, right?
Yep.
So we actually made 200 hex off of it by emergency end staking it.
Yep. So
Okay.
we'll put 100,200 hex in here. And the goal that this person should be trying to achieve is extending their length of the stake so that they get more shares and thus a bigger portion of the big payday. Because you want a bigger slice of the big payday, because that's kind of like the massive day, the massive payout day, essentially.
But this only works before day 351, right? This strategy.
Yes.
Because you're trying to get the BPD.
After big payday and get the big payday.
So this is an instance where you would want to increase your shares, particularly before big payday, because you want a bigger slice of big payday.
Got it.
So if you took that same 360 days and put it in a stake right now, your shares would be less than what it was originally. And you can see, if you can see this number here, it's like 11.5T versus 11.9T, which it was originally.
Yeah.
So now the number
on December 5th, when they staked, the share price was like 90, you got 99,000 or whatever.
Yep. So now what this person can do is they can start seeing, like, if they change the length of their stake, you can see what kind of percentage difference that accounts for in shares here. So this one is like a 15% increase in shares if you go for 700 days, or you can do something, if you did something like 1,000 days, we're talking like, what kind of increase would that be? Oh, geez. Let's see. 14.943 divided by... So you could get like a 25% increase from the big payday reward by doing a strategy like this and increasing your share by that amount.
Wow. And you've got more shares that are sitting out there for a longer period of time, gaining more.
Right. So as that share rate increases into the future, the people that are going to be staking around you, they're going to be getting less. So you're essentially will be doing better in the future than if you didn't follow a strategy like this.
Yeah. So if you waited until after big payday and when your stake came mature, and if you took that and then staked it out for 1,000 days or whatever, like you said, you're doing way worse than if you emergency end staked it now and pushed it out there.
Yes, I believe that's the case.
Yes,
because you have less shares, so you have less of the pool once big payday comes around.
Yeah.
And only do this on your year one stakes, not your 2, 3, 4, 5 year stakes, because you have not reached the halfway point yet.
Yeah. So
remember that.
Something that you can consider, depending on how badly it hits your principal, because I mean, you could still end up with like 80,000 hex here, while still getting the same amount of shares, if you want to send it out longer. See, like this. If you're taking a 20% penalty to stake for 1,000 days, it wouldn't make sense in this instance because you ultimately end up with less shares. But that's something that you can play around with. But for the majority,
they can throw a quadruple single out there with 10,000 hex and put
50,000 and 50,000 2,000 day stake, and you've got nearly the amount of shares, maybe not quite, like 2,500 would put you right around what you had previously. And that allows you to have that flexibility of like when you want your stakes to end. Because I'm sure there's some people out there that like did a long stake and ended it shortly after big payday just because they weren't sure what they were doing. And this would kind of fix the situation.
Yeah.
But that's all I have.
Back to shares.
That's all I have to share. So I'm going to stop sharing screen.
Nice, bro.
That's what's up. More tools in the tool belt, man. This is what I like.
Well, and I think it's an important time for that to happen because those stakes are hitting the halfway point right now. Yeah. And there's a lot of people that are understanding what shares are all about and the value of shares. And they're going, damn, man, I put 2 million, 3 million, to end in January or end of December or whatever, and those people are the perfect candidates for, hey, get past your halfway point, emergency end stake it, and then throw that stuff out, put 100,000 out, 5,555, put, some 10-year stakes out instead of just realizing it all in December where it's not really as valuable because the shares are what's important. important, you know.
Right.
The thing you do not want to do is emergency in stake with less than 50% after big payday. That's gonna because your interest is so big after big payday that it's gonna do some damage.
Could you keep your interest low, and then also emergency end staking, and not waiting too much past the halfway point is important because the share rate is changing. Also, the share price is getting every day after your 50%, your 50% of the stake. The share price is going up and up and up and up and up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, you do know, or you don't fucking know what I'm saying. Am I stupid?
No, I know what you're saying.
You know,
you're good. You're good, RG3. Don't worry, man. So, like, ultimately, if you're going to emergency in stake, the minimum it'll do is remove 50% of your interest. So if that's going to happen anyways, then it's better to do it earlier to the halfway point, I think, than to do it later so that you can lock in that share rate, like you were saying.
A good share rate, yeah.
Right. But how much of the interest do you lose? Let's just say on a at 1 day before it actually ends. If someone were to do that 1 day before the actual day it's supposed to be in stake, how much? Wouldn't you lose like 50% of the interest? Right.
According to the calculations, yes, that is exactly what would happen.
Wow.
You lose 50% of the interest.
So doing it right at the halfway point is what is
plus 50% to your principal. Not plus 50%, but plus that interest. Like, you're not losing to your principal; you're still getting paid out at least.
Right. But you're getting 50% of it. You're throwing half of your gains away. Yeah. Even just 1 day before it expires. Whew, that's a lot of interest. Yeah.
That would be. Yeah. So this is definitely look at your stakes. Look at when your halfway point is. Make sure that you don't emergency end stake before that, because there is no tool when you hit that emergency end stake button. From what I understand, it's just it's a black box. You hit the button and it's done. You don't get any, hey, I'm warning you, this is what's going to happen. You're going to lose this. It's like, it's done. It happens and it's over with. So don't do it until you've done the math on your days. You know when your halfway point is. You've gone a day or two beyond it, to give yourself some leeway, and then and then push them out if it's beneficial to you. The math's there on the video here, so the math is there for you to do on your own. Dev Kyle explained this a couple months ago. I didn't grasp it fully until I'm understanding it now, that there is a beneficial reason to early emergency. I know emergency end stake is a bad fucking word around here. I know it's a bad word. I know that everybody is like, I can never do that. But you might want to do the math. You might want to see, if you've got a big stake that's ending in 1 year, right after big payday, you might want to think about spreading that out and reladdering it and rethinking your strategy, because it might be a lot more beneficial to you to push those shares, to get more shares and push it out further and gain more interest and have a bigger share of the pie. We call it. So consider it for yourself, guys. It's important. I know we talked about it, but we've never really got into detail like this about it and shown everything.
Particularly before big payday, just because that's the big boy payout. Yeah,
because once you get that, then there's probably no going back. Because you're all that interest
you're locked in. Yeah,
will kill you. So anyway, right on, man. Thank you for that. I appreciate it, Firebun.
Yeah,
so what else what you got going on, man? What are you doing?
Well, I added a lot of pairs to Uniswap.vision, and people like that. It seems like there's a niche of people that they're on Uniswap, but they don't have TradingView yet, and those people really like the charts, it turns out. So like I added those pairs, and like the number of users doubled in like a day.
Champion.
So kind of like my play right now is get more users, and then start deploying Hex ads. And I actually had pushed out a Hex ad to the site, and I saw somebody in the chat that was like, am I hacked? Or is this an ad on Uniswap.vision? And they were like trying to inspect the ad to see if the guy was hacked or not. Like, okay, maybe I need to rethink this approach. Like, it's not quite discreet enough for even Hex people to like get it. So,
Right.
yeah, but that's where I'm at with that.
Right on. So is V2 affecting you at all? Or are you going to be moving to that? Or
Oh, I already added V2 support.
So V2 is on your platform too.
Yeah. So the thing about it is I have to add the pairs manually so they don't just like automatically pop up. Just because like it takes a lot of API requests to like get that data and have it refresh every 15 seconds. So like I'm not just adding a bunch of random pairs, but whichever ones seem to have a community or add value.
So I got to admit, I haven't been using it.
It's okay.
No, it's not, because yours it actually allows you to keep Hex within the algorithm, right? Hex doesn't, like when I use the regular Uniswap, it disappears all the time.
You got to type in the code, pretty much.
Yeah,
in the search bar. Yeah, it's kind of annoying a little bit.
I'm not sure what I'm talking about Uniswap.vision, which is the charting site, right?
Oh, your charting site.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
Yes. Or hex.uniswap.hex.vision.
No, I know that.
Has.
I know your chart. Maybe I'm thinking that you had I saw Hexo pull up a Uniswap chart today, and when he pulled the chart, his looks completely different than mine. When he pulled up the Uniswap, it looked different because it looked like Hex stays in his Uniswap. It does not stay in my Uniswap.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Does it stay in yours when you go to Uniswap?
I can't remember if it does on V1 or not. I think on V2 they added it, so like if you go back after you've selected a pair, it'll automatically populate. But I'm not sure if they have that on V1 or not.
I just have the contract addresses. So I can push it in every time. It's kind of annoying.
When do you think the volume will switch over to V2, or the liquidity?
I have no idea. I mean, the thing about V2 is they have that fee that can be turned on. I think, let's see, what's Richard was saying is 15%, but it's of the liquidity provider. So liquidity provider gets 0.3%. And the fee, if they turned it on, would cut into that. I think it's 0.25% would go to the liquidity provider, and 0.05% would go to the Uniswap team if they decide to do that. So if I'm a liquidity provider, I don't know if I want to just pay them.
Right.
Also, I know the code's been audited, but there's also a possibility that like maybe a bug gets discovered after a certain like amount of usage. So it probably makes sense to not migrate like $12 million worth of liquidity immediately. Like if I'm a liquidity provider, but I do think that there is some value moving at least a little bit of liquidity over there because people do look at, I mean, it defaults to V2 now. So it would just be better to show up higher on the list.
V1's always better prices though on most coins, even now.
Really? Yeah. It just depends where the liquidity is at, really. So like on Uniswap V1, I think Hex has 23,000 ETH, and on Uniswap V2, we're talking like 200, maybe 229. So like you're gonna have way more slippage on Uniswap V2. Than V1. So
it gives you a warning too. It says warning, high slippage. You know.
New whale enters chat.
Who's that?
No, I'm saying like when you market buy on V2, you push the price up. I am now Hex Whale. Hex Whale's my life.
So they're gonna both remain active, right? I mean, they're not gonna like pull V1 down completely.
You mean the site? Well, we have our own front end. Hexdex.win is our own implementation of the Uniswap front end. and that's why like the Hex token can populate and stuff. It still hits that V1 contract. So even if they shut down their site, which it wouldn't make any sense for them to do that really. I mean, it's a contract on the Ethereum blockchain, so it's going to be there until Ethereum decides to die or something. I'm not sure.
So okay, so it'll always remain there, but probably won't have a lot of the liquidity will end up switching over from.
Eventually, I imagine, yeah.
But you should always check the prices in between both of them, because sometimes I think someone in the chat just said that the other day V2 actually had a better price on Hex.
Yeah, that might.
But
Will kill you.
yeah, but you might have to buy like 0.1 Ethereum or something.
That's what
exactly. Yeah. So you
that's
might
what,
get like
that's what Bitcoin for Life was doing the other day.
Hey. Oh, right, with $1,000 you made. Yeah.
Yeah, with the Hexies was when Hexia was switching over. He was selling them one at a time, and he was selling them for like $40-$45 a piece.
Dude, they broke the Hex HXY chart by removing all that liquidity. I don't know if you guys have looked at it lately, but it goes up to 100. Let's see, 1.1 million Hex per HXY on the chart because they removed all the liquidity and somebody bought, so it just like sent the price into the stratosphere.
Oh man, yeah, and that's when he was selling. He was like, it was on stream doing it, man. It was freaking. He made like $1,000 right there in his car. He's like, oh.
That's the beauty of being literate in DEXs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Being literate and catching those moments. I talked about that the other day, catching those little moments, you know. Yeah. So anyway, so what else is going on, Firebun? What else exciting is going on in your life?
What else? I don't know, man. Just trying to find out. Like, I'm just trying to crack through the barriers and get us into CoinMarketCap top first page. Like, I want that to happen so bad. Like, that's what I've been. I mean, there's only so much time I could dedicate to that, and there's only so much. Like, at some point, it just feels like there's nothing more I can do, I guess. And that it's kind of been feeling like that lately, where we just kind of have to wait, get on more exchanges. Hopefully they start tracking Uniswap. I don't know. But for me, I don't think I'm going to be adding pairs to Uniswap.vision unless Hex gets more pairs. I've got a project that I'm dedicating some time to, but I haven't talked about it yet. But it's exciting and will be announced. Ooh. Yes, it's coming.
I didn't catch that. I was typing something. What'd you say?
Just working on something that isn't public yet, and
yeah. We talked a little bit about that. Mm-hmm. I won't say anything.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Right on. Cool, man. We got 90 freaking people on the stream. That's awesome. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. We appreciate you. You guys are sending our numbers up, moving us to closer to 1,000. We want to hit 1,000. That's like a big freaking stinking deal. And our algorithms change and all that good stuff. And you guys are definitely pushing us there. Let me bring up Johnny. He's coming in.
Okay.
Yo, Johnny. We're all done doing the stuff that you won't be disturbing. So come on back in and rant.
Disturbing. Well, I want to utilize Firebun while we got him, because we have like some of the best developers working on Hex, which is awesome because they're like not making money from this, but they love the project so much they're really supporting it, and that's cool. You don't see a lot of that. You see a lot of YouTube personalities, but we don't see the developers. Where we do see the developers in Hex, we've got Steph, we've got Firebun, we've got now it's slipping my mind.
Swift Salamander, we got Pika, who did like Whale Hex, and like the Hex Monitor stuff.
We should do a developer stream. That'd be tight.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
literally, you could have a whole developer stream.
I'm sure, but there are a lot of things that I'd like to like pick Kyle's brain about. For example, I think that'd be cool.
That'd be really cool. Yeah, especially with all that Dune knowledge you got now.
We got Hex Force.
I'm like 2.5 hours in.
We got Hex Force XY too. Don't forget him. He's making a new app, and of course, good texture. Good
Mhm.
texture. You can't forget
Good
good texture. He's like freaking dev in disguise, out there looking at codes and stuff. And yeah.
But
We
what
got-
are some of the ways we can go around the giants? Because even Uniswap makes you manually add hex to the code, and that is kind of one of those things that is bad for newbies. So we've got like the hex decks to bypass that. Linking that up on the pages so people can go directly there, maybe instead of going to Uniswap directly, they get the code automatically entered, and that's helpful to the noobs. But MetaMask also, you got to manually add it. They're resisting us too. So I mean, there is nothing but resistance,
Mhm.
all the way around, and you've experienced that.
Mhm.
What other ways do you think we can?
I mean, we're kind of doing it like hexdex.win. It does that. I think the margin trading that's being worked on currently, I think that'll be good, and we don't need anybody to do that. That will probably be bigger than hexdex itself. What I would like to see is something that just enhances the usability. Like I was telling RG3 earlier, I got my dad in Hex, right? And I had to write out like the steps on how to get in just in case, like, or how to get out if something ever happens to me,
Yeah.
God forbid. But it's so difficult. Like he just using like the Google Authenticator on Coinbase, and then like you got to authenticate from your Gmail, and then you log back in, use the authenticator again, and then you got to send it to MetaMask. You got to learn you got to find out all of the different sites that you need to do for each of the different steps. I think the most important thing that we can do for Hex, like in the future, is consolidate that and make it simpler.
Right.
Because like maybe crypto people know how to do that, but we're going for like more. We want more than that. We want like,
I don't even think a lot of crypto people know how to do it. There's these Bitcoiners, and it's like you can claim it for free, and they're like, huh? Well, you got to sign a signature, huh? I mean, I don't really think that they're as educated as we think they are. I mean, you really got to pull teeth to get Hex. I mean, it's really it's easy for them to blow it off because it's not very easy to access. It's the most complex thing out there. Heck, your website has more statistics than anybody could ever possibly wrap their brain around. And there is no coin on the market that has statistics like you've got statistics covered out there. So, I mean, that's just, you can spend all day on your site and just look at statistics. And it's like, I don't know when I'll ever need that,
Yeah, but that's what I'd like to see is like something that just makes it easy. Something that makes it feel like you're not dealing with crypto and like blockchain and transactions and all of that. Just something that feels like something more like Venmo or PayPal, where it's just in one place. You just put one thing in, and then like it's just everything's there. I think
you got to make it like Apple. You got to make it so streamlined anyone can use it.
That might be the direction that we have to go because something like an app like we see. I see the things coming in from Hex Toys, which I think looks really, kind of all in one. That could be phenomenal, if everything goes like it's supposed to, because we can onboard way more people that are not in crypto than the people that already have their opinions and think they're gods because they accidentally held the right coin at the right time.
Yeah.
So
having the ability to long and short it. Yeah. And that's we give the gamblers their paradise. Allow you to
I don't know how I feel about the long and short, because that is the dreaded Barts we see all the time.
Right.
Nothing but Barts. The long because you start pushing the market around in the direction, and I mean the best you can do at that point is you're guessing that somebody big is going to shift it in that direction at that particular point in time, and it's.
Ultimately, I would like to give people the opportunity to go short to boost up the Hex price when they get wrecked.
I understand where you're going with that.
Yeah. Just call it the Thunderdome. Let's go, bro.
People are gonna get clapped, man. It's not gonna be pretty, but I've clapped myself, so a lot of people.
Oh,
Hey, and you know what? Something that we didn't mention, Firebun, is when you did your maths and you talked about, okay, well, you're going to lose this much principal when you do. Not principal, interest. You're going to lose this much interest by going to the 50% and then restaking. You're really not losing it that much either, because if you do have other stakes in there, those stakes are benefiting from you emergency end staking and the whole rest of the community.
Yeah,
too.
that's true.
So that's adding to that pot too.
Like individually, it's not that.
I know
great,
it's not going to be. It's not going to make it at all. But technically, you're giving back to yourself and you're giving back to the community. So the community is really gaining from it.
There, yeah. So you guys can feel good about emergency and staking for the.
So it's a win-win-win-win-win all the way around.
Yeah, there you go.
Properly, responsible emergency end staking. Please end stake responsibly.
There you go.
That's RG3's. What do you call that? A
recommendation?
No.
Financial advice?
No. My public service announcement.
Oh yeah, there you go.
The public service announcement. Please end stake responsibly.
RG wants your coins.
Dude,
Hey, come on, man. Emergency on stake. We'll take our share.
So you guys got to.
In 4 months, we'll be showing like, hey, you guys, don't forget to use my my Hex Dex or my Hexmex, Hexmex link down below.
Yep, REF Firebun. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's going to be interesting after Big Payday. I wonder if people will like promote in staking to get people wrecked. Like I don't see why people. I don't know. We'll see.
If everybody's
it'd be good texture probably.
Man.
You mean counteroffs? What's his name?
Good texture.
Good texture.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He'll be doing it.
Mm.
He'll be doing it. He'll be running around.
He says it's up, and then I just think it's going down. I don't know. I'm real like I don't know what he.
I don't like. I'm kind of on board with Richard. Where like the bearish, I'll follow when bullish again. Yeah.
See, I'm not really worried about the price right now. I'm not worried anything until after Big Payday's over with, because it's like anything that I've got staked is beyond that point anyway. So it's not like I'm going to sell it. So the price really doesn't matter right now. The only it matters if it's low and you can buy some more, but that's kind of hard to get back to an entry that I got before. So
true. Yeah.
What I think one angle we haven't looked at yet on the strategy is you want to get this done obviously before Big Payday, but once you get those stakes locked in, the amount of emergency end stakes that are going to happen a couple weeks before Big Payday and after are going to be insane. So the amount of extra interest you're going to get, it's just going to explode.
Nice.
Yep.
Because even like you just said, even if let's just imagine like I have a 100-day stake and I emergency end stake on day 99, I'm getting 50% of that interest. And then 25, and then so you're getting 25% interest given out to the people who are staked. That's a lot of interest. So there's no way we can calculate how much that's going to be, but it's crazy.
Incentive to end stake around that time. It's like so it's gonna
and the share price
be crazy in a lot of ways.
It's still going to be pretty good, because what are they expecting it to drop down to? Like right around 92 or 90 or something like that? Is that what, or is it 88 at the end?
What share rate, or what are we talking about?
Share rate, yeah.
I'm not sure. I haven't. Oh, I guess Hex Info probably has that projection.
Right now, what is it? Well, you could see that chart. It shows where it's going to be. Mm-hmm. Because right now, what are we at now? 96? 96.
I'm not sure.
96 million.
I locked in my stake so long ago. I just like to pay attention to the share rate, actually.
Yeah. Trillions of shares.
Oh.
Gajillions.
But I mean, that's what I'm saying is it's not going to change much. It's going to change drastically on the day after Big Payday, but you're still getting a pretty damn good. I mean, let's just say it's 85, and I don't think it's going to be that it's not going to go up that high. where you're getting 85,000 or 85 million. But even at that, that's going to seem like a bargain once you cut half of that off the day afterwards. I mean, holy crap.
Share rate is 1.111 on BPD. So 0.89 would be like your ratio of hex to share, however you do that calculation.
So 89 million, right? Yeah. From 100 million. So you really haven't lost that much of a percentage. What's that, 11%, from day one all the way to the end, which is, I'm telling you, that emergency end stake is looking sweeter and sweeter for people who have like 1 year stakes, right?
Well,
yeah, but that also is another reason to do it. Once you cross that 50% threshold, if you send it long term, then you're getting more of those in-stake penalties. Because
later on down. And then if you're doing it now, if you're hitting the 50% point now, you're gonna benefit from any FOMO emergency end staking that's going to happen over big payday. You're going to benefit from all that stake sitting in there.
Whatever's certain is that people are going to make mistakes.
Oh yeah.
And what is fortunate is those that are doing what they say they're going to do are going to benefit from those.
Mm-hmm.
And keep in mind, guys, this whole game is designed to punish people that think they're going to game the system. So as you're making decisions or making choices to try to restake and get a better position and stuff, you need to understand that it's by design to punish people for trying to game the system. So I think what's going to happen is, for instance, say there's a run up right before big payday, okay? And say we go up to 3 cents. All right. People will be like, oh, I can sell now. Wait, I'm staked. I got emergency unstake. And then they make the sale and that shakes them out of their position.
Mm-hmm.
So there's all these different things or scenarios that can shake people out of your positions. And I think the thing is to really try to hold whatever position you're committed to, trying to shift it around, even a day before you're losing 50% of your interest. So you might be able to get that share rate, but I think this game system is
not if you're pushing the stake out. If you've only got a 1 year stake and you're pushing it out to 5 years, now you've changed your whole program there, bud. Now you got a lot more shares. You've got more time on the books that you got to serve, but you're getting a lot more shares. You're increasing the value of your stake.
And no one's saying to do this to all your year one stakes, but you could, because I know a lot of people that are a little overweighted on year one, I'm guessing, because at the time, especially me, like I was around since day one, like that's what I did for the first couple 15 20 days were just 1 year stakes until I started getting a little braver and started going up in years from there. So
there's a lot of people that did that, and I'm sure that they're probably going, damn, I wish I wouldn't have done that. So but there's a way out of it, and there's a way to increase your shares, and that's really increasing your value proposition in Hex. And year one is the most important time to get a value proposition in Hex. So it way outweighs just sitting back and watching it run. You really got to look at it. You really do, because and it's also, if everybody does look at that, then it's even going to promote more good behavior. It's going to promote more long staking, more, hey, you know what? This is more like a CD. A CD, really, a traditional CD is something that you push out 5, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 25. They push these CDs out far, and you don't take them out because you get penalties. So, but I pulled up somebody's chat message that we need to talk about. Oh shit, that wasn't it. Sorry, Sam.
It's up 3.
There. Is that? Oh, there it is.
There you go.
There you go. So I've been thinking about the benefit of running good accounting just before big payday to make sure there are no unclaimed hex diluting the big payday pool. Any thoughts? Yes, a big thought. I thought the same thing too for a moment. I was like, man, why don't we just unstake that shit, get it out? But and I can't explain it, and I can't tell you. You have to go into our Discourse Syndicate that I have pinned on the YouTube with Dev Kyle. Dev Kyle goes over this and talks about how by letting that sit there and bleed out, or letting that or end staking that, depends upon the stake itself somehow. And I'm not sure what that is, but maybe some smarter people than me can go in and look at that, or maybe even Firebun can talk to that. But
I would suspect that it would be important to do before big payday, to just, if there are massive stakes that are just diluting the share pool, it might be worthwhile to do it for those in particular. I think the trade-off that Kyle may have touched on is like, do you want the fees from the stake? Or do you want while it dilutes the share pool, or do you want to remove them from the share pool and not get paid the fees? Essentially, I think that's the trade-off between.
Yeah, it's like it only really big stakes that would make an effect at all. So that's
well. The question would be, why are they bleeding? Are they unable to access their account? Is this person no longer with us? If we unstake it, then that's
there's a million different reasons why it could be happening. I mean, but what's important is, how does the community look at it? Like, is it diluting the pool? Or and it would be massive stakes that if something like that was happening to a massive stake.
I'll be sharing my address.
Oh yeah,
I'll be sharing my address because.
But eventually, it all goes to the stakers. If you leave it alone, eventually it all goes to the stakers. But initially, yes, it will dilute your shares.
Is what it does.
Right. So if they end their stake themselves after big payday, then that's not as good as if we had ended it before. But if it goes through big payday and then bleeds out. I'm trying to think if their shares aren't in there versus payout.
Kyle explains it in the video about that, and there's a reason to do it, and then there's a reason not to do it. So I always thought, hey, don't do it, and it bleeds out, and we all get it. So ha 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 ha. But Kyle said, oh no, because what it does is share pool. So he said, you have to look at the stake itself, and you have to look at the amount and do the math. And I said, fuck. That's so,
and if it's owned by Litecoin Moses, you always want to do good accounting.
So all you mathers out there, you guys watch those stakes. And if you see we need a patrol watching the big stakes so that we can see if it's diluting the share pool or if it's bleeding out nice and we're all lapping up the blood. Let it bleed out. So that's how you got to look at it. So smarter people than I are going to have to look at that and figure out what the answer to that good the function, good accounting function. Man, getting old sucks, man. I got to start. What isn't there like something I could take, milk thistle or some shit for my brain?
You gotta just listen to
Gutweed
Joe Rogan podcast, and he'll tell you what you need to take. He'll be like,
he down there killed me with that freaking yellow coffee shit he had on his show. That stuff was wild, man. I mean, I thought it was going to be the most awful tasting shit ever. What the hell was that? I forget what they called it.
Yeah, you were talking about it in the last discourse. I can't remember what it is.
Oh man. But I'll tell you what, it amped my ass up. That's for sure. That was like freaking doing a gagger, It was, man.
There's some brain drugs out here. I just can't remember all of them. I like not Adderall, obviously, but there's some other more natural ones. Yeah, they're pretty good for the brain.
Creatine is one that I've heard about.
Creatine's very good for the brain as well.
Smugglard said, "Vegans won't watch big steaks." Yeah, they won't watch them bleed, and they won't watch them because they're steaks.
Nicotine's actually pretty good for the brain too, surprisingly enough.
Smoke, man. I don't smoke. I don't drink those Red Bulls either. I drink coffee, but that's about it. But man, I need something for my brain, that's for sure. I know there's a bunch of shit out there. Maybe after big payday I can start working on some good stuff.
Right. I'll make a list for you, man. I've got it written down somewhere. There's like some brain stuff you could take.
Good. Get rid of the fog.
Modafinil. Yeah.
Fish oil.
That's a solid one.
Fish oil.
Daffodil.
Modafinil. Yeah.
Oh, daffodil. Okay.
Yeah. There's like two versions of that, but that stuff works.
I'm telling you guys, don't let me go the way of John, Uncle John. Don't let me go. You guys got to help
Yeah.
the guy out, man.
Don't worry, we got you. Oh,
I'll
yeah.
I'll just be on the lam with him and his old lady. Be like, oh, who's that guy with that's RG running around with John McAfee doing DMT out freaking Amazon rainforest with him and shit.
Yeah, Lion's Mane's really good.
Mm-hmm. I've heard about that one. Well, yeah, Paul Stamets was on Rogan talking about that. That's where I learned about fungi. The whole thing.
The Mushroom Man.
Yeah.
He literally had a mushroom hat.
Check this out. So I've got a buddy. He's since passed away. God rest his soul. Poor guy, man. We grew up together since we were like in the 3rd grade type shit, right? And he was into that. He grew the mushrooms, right? And he lived in this little tiny trailer. And I remember when he started doing, he had this little jar. And back then you could like order them online, or you probably still can. And you order them, you grow them in this jar. Well, somehow, some way, and this guy was, I mean, he wasn't the cleanest individual on the planet, right? And so months went by. I hadn't seen him for a while. And I go over to his trailer to visit him. Hey, dude, what's up? Bang on the door. He opens it up. And there's mushrooms fucking growing out of the corners of his trailer, through his carpet, all over his furniture. He had mushrooms like the whole trailer was just. I was like, dude, what the hell is going on here, man?
Were they magic mushrooms or just like
psilocybin? Yeah, he had psilocybin.
Just gone 24/7.
Different universe, yeah.
He's like, ain't it great, man? And they're like growing out of the freaking carpet and the walls and shit and in the corners of the ceiling. They're just all over the place. I guess he had spored out, and they just ended up growing everywhere. And it was a freaking baddest ass thing I've ever seen, man. All over his whole freaking place.
I finally figured out the answer to the universe. It's 47.
47.
Yeah. 47.
How do we ever go to crypto to mushrooms?
Brain drugs, baby.
Brain enhancers.
This is the garbage show right here, man. I mean, we talk about everything on this show. Hex is the most important thing, and getting some information out is the most important thing. But toilet humor, garbage, drugs, you name it. We end up talking about it here. Fleshlights, the whole shebang shaboom.
Yeah, dude, I remember when the pre-workouts used to have a ephedra. Is it ephedra? Yeah, I used to have ephedra in it, which was crazy. I mean, you would take one pre-workout.
They make speed out of, man. They don't. It's
supposed to be like speeds or meths, like
Are we allowed to talk about drugs on YouTube? I see people getting loaded all the time on YouTube, smoking weed and shit.
I don't know. A lot of YouTubers I know that are on all these speed drugs, dude. But who knows?
Adderall and all that shit.
Especially Adderall.
That's like what all the college students are taking that now, right?
Mm-hmm. Just a cram right before the test and stuff. Like they pop it like 2 days before and just go on the study binge.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Or a deadline. Like writers do take that stuff a lot.
See, school was never that important for me. I would, you know what I mean? Why the hell would I do that to myself to go to school? That was like, if I got loaded, I wanted to go away from school. I didn't want to go to school. Yeah. That's not okay. Anyway.
Well, anyway, they're trying to legalize it again. The fitness industry is trying to get ephedra back into supplements because right now they have hit the upward limits of how strong they can make pre-workouts where they won't kill somebody.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
that's where they draw the line when you die.
Yeah, well, it's because I forgot what the number is or whatever, but like if they were to up it a couple more, I mean, you would start giving a lot of people, 1, anxiety attacks, and 2, you'd like heart palpitations where like they feel like, and I mean, like something like I think it was called Dr. Hyde and Jekyll or whatever is like up to like 600 milligrams of caffeine per scoop and stuff. And all the people that go to the gym are caffeine addicts, like completely. We're geeked to the gills and stuff. I mean, like I remember I would go to work, take caffeine. This is terrible advice. Terrible. Don't do this to yourself. But I did this for myself for a while. I was like, I'll take a coffee in the morning, take a coffee in the afternoon, go to the gym, take 2 scoops of pre-workout. If you would just add up how much caffeine I took in a day, it was like 1,000. It had easily 1,000 milligrams and stuff, right? And that would do not like eventually get to the point where I was like, this isn't doing nothing to me anymore, right? So back in the day, right, people the pre-workouts would actually have ephedrine in it, which is basically just like a cleaned up version of meth, essentially. But like, goddamn, those are the greatest workouts of my life.
Oh my god, the pump!
Oh, you're right. I did. I would on my way home from work, I'd drink my pre-workout, and then I'd go to the gym, do my deal, and go home. So I'm coming from work. I had this new pre-workout that was like supposed to be freaking super blast, whatever, 2,000, blah blah blah. So I put an extra half scoop in it and said, let's really kick this one up, right? So boom, drank that. So I walk in to the gym, and you know they always got the hot girls in the front of the gym handing out the samples and shit, you know. Yeah. At my gym anyway, I don't know. So they had a little hottie. So they stopped me, and I usually just walk right by him. Well, this one, she's like, you know, hey, just try our thing. Da da da. So it's a BCAAs, and so I said, all right. So she gave it to me, and she goes, here, take 2. I took 2. I popped them down real quick. Well, she didn't tell me the freaking thing were pre-workouts too. So I'd already pounded a big ass one. She gives me this super jet fuel one. And man, I was in the freaking workout going, oh shit, I think this is it.
Yeah.
Easy. I'm coming.
At one point, I took a pre-workout, and then they also have like during workout drinks too. And I just remember it was like
BCAs.
Looking through like a hole, like the outskirts of my vision were like
tunnel vision.
Tunnel vision, exactly.
Yeah, you have to be really careful what you mix stuff with, especially with the BC, because some BCAs have just have like some more what's called caffeine in it, and then they actually have brain drugs in there too. Because one of the bigger things is like people keep checking their phone a lot, right? So what they're doing to you is they add these extra little, you know, kind of brain drugs and stuff and supplements to focus you in to get that tunnel. Because most people want the tunnel vision. That's how crazy it is.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Hey, check it out. So dreaming a little bit. One of the things I wanted to do on the show was like talk about spending some money. It's talking about changing your lifestyle. Mm-hmm. Just kind of moonboying it a little bit with that. Yeah. Have you guys built your gym yet?
I'm building it right now.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm building it
in your mind here. What you want your dream gym to look like, right?
I've built what I want in my mind. Yeah.
Oh man, I got it figured out. Man, I got it figured out. I got my sauna where I want my sauna. I know where I want my weight sets. I know which ones I want. Get my dumbbells. I mean, I'm ready, man. I'm ready. That's one of the things I've been dreaming about is, okay, what am I? I've been out in my backyard, like, okay, literally with a tape measure. Okay. Okay, that's going to fit right there. That's going to fit right there. This shit's coming down. Got that far. You got to do that stuff, man. You got to do that stuff. Haven't you ever like dream built? Haven't you ever put stuff on the wall and just like looked at it and thought about it, like a car you want, like if there's a Porsche that you want, put that son of a bitch on the wall and just look at it every day, you know, doing positive stuff like that. Because I mean, I'm telling you,
to the universe, it comes true, man. Sometimes,
yeah, I think everybody in Hex should be doing that right now because we're starting to realize that some people have already made some serious freaking money, man. Just from where we're at right now, people have already made money. So
this is a good time to plug Hex Dreams on Telegram. If you guys aren't in there, get in there. Post pictures of your cars, your watches.
See, wait. I think I heard about this one time, but I didn't. Let me see. It's in Telegram.
Hex Dreams. Plural with an S. But what I want, the number one thing on my list is I want out of the requirement to work.
Oh shit!
I don't.
Yeah.
Some of that financial freedom, and I'm on the way there. You know, like I'm doing what I want. I like working on Hex, and that's why I do it. And I'm taking time off of work just because I can afford to at this point. Like just how things have led up until this point.
Hey, if you haven't out there yet gone to Hex Dreams, I just now joined. I haven't been in. I heard about it. I think we might have heard about it on the 24 hour or something. And man, I was out of it for like 3 days and I forgot everything that happened in there anyway. So But yeah, look, there's a freaking Shark Tank in this dude's house, man. He's got a freaking like big ass. You see that? Holy, this is cool as fuck. Look at this. Oh,
dude,
yeah.
If the hex even works out even to a fraction of what I think it'll do, like I'm probably gonna start doing. I do more like I would just do a bunch of YouTube full time just for fun, just because I like just hanging out with everybody. And then two, shit, man, I'm gonna get geeked to the gills, man. I'm gonna start bodybuilding again.
Oh yeah, yeah. The Coronas have set me back a little bit on my regiment for sure.
Dude, I actually stopped. I actually had to stop working out since maybe like December 14th, around that time. So I've only just barely started working out again, and like I had gained like 14 pounds and stuff, which is ridiculous. So it's like my arms look horrible. Look at it. I mean, nothing, dude, no muscle.
Man. Yo, you're doing all right over there, man.
Dude, that's not, dude. I had big ass arms, dude. I had weight. My arms were like this and stuff.
Really?
Like,
no way.
Dude, I was
but it comes back. It comes back, you know. It comes back after you do it once.
Sexy is gone, that's for sure, man. COVID stole a lot of sexy away from a lot of people.
I know.
Damn, this is some badass shit in this. I need my daily dose of this stuff right here. Right. I want to see other people's dreams too, man. I want to see. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's the stuff right there. That gets me fired up, man. Oh, look at that. Look at that.
I've been dreaming about taking stem cells. Literally, I want to like stem cell my entire back, injections of stem cells, and fucking just get all it, like, because I have some lower back pain and stuff still. Just because like I used to
bite your back
for my back. Yeah, dude, for my back. Well, I had a work injury that kind of messed my neck up a little bit. And then another injury was just from the gym and stuff, because like I was doing like 630-pound deadlifts for reps back in the day. Yeah, I was doing hella heavy ass deadlifts, and the deadlifts were always my favorite. I mean, I think I did 650 pounds for my 1 rep max, and my brother did like 680, I think.
Hex Dreams. You guys, if you have not gone to Hex Dreams in Telegram, you got to go sign up or join Hex Dreams in Telegram. That is awesome. Yeah, you got to do that stuff. Do you guys ever look at properties anywhere else?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Like I'm on the MLSs. I'm on the MLSs for like a bunch of different islands. And
you went straight to islands.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I'm looking at islands. And so, but now because of tax purposes, I'm looking at Puerto Rico, and Puerto Rico has some very nice properties, beach properties. And I mean, nice stuff, man. Nice stuff. Got to dream.
I'll probably get a Vegas property and a Tokyo property too, and stuff.
Tokyo.
Like, I want to. Yeah, I want some major city properties just because like I want to hang out there and party and shit. Like the Vegas one, like I actually like Vegas because it's 24/7. Because like this whole COVID thing. Look at this. I can't even get a haircut. My barber actually got shut down by the police.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
Yeah, and now he's like secretly like doing it, but from his house. So people are coming to his house to get haircuts and stuff. The struggle, man.
It's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. Right now, Vegas is fully open basically right now.
Wow, that's crazy to me.
Yeah,
I saw that the other day on TV. They had like just opened up Vegas, and it was like, it's on, go for it. But they're starting to see more cases now. Like, who was it that just reported like they had their biggest weekend just this last weekend? I mean, everybody's out there breathing in each other's faces right now, and yelling and screaming. And
I mean, I'll check out Mexico. I mean, shit, I can go down there. My parents have gone there actually for some stuff down there. Anyway, but you just got to really do your research before you go down there. It's like anything, you know. Yeah.
Well, I really like the Puerto Rico situation, the Act 22, 20 and 22. I know that shoot, I keep forgetting his name now. Gary. His name's Gary, but he calls himself something. He just started a new YouTube stream.
Finding Jim.
Finding Jim. So Finding Jim, I believe he lives out there. And he's talking about the situation out there and what that 2022 means. And that was built for crypto people after the big hurricane that went out there. So literally and this doesn't apply to everybody. It's U.S. citizens. And I don't know if you can come from outside the U.S. and go there and catch that. You might want to check into it from wherever you're at. But U.S. citizens can keep their citizenship move to Puerto Rico for a certain amount of time a year and gain benefits from investment income and from business income. So if you set up an online business or something, you get a whole bunch of benefits on that alone, tax breaks, and like zero on capital gains. So your HEX is tax free out there. So
I think it's like 3% for just a business. 3%.
I think it's 4. I think it's actually
Is it 4? Oh, okay.
It's actually 4, and it's just and zero on capital gains. So it's like
a 25% increase in taxes. This is oppression, man. Oppression.
But there's options. There's options. So you gotta be smart. You gotta use those options. That's what we're talking about today. Emergency end stake is not a bad word. It could be something that wrecks your ass. But if done properly and done responsibly, it's something that might be able to benefit you. Just like moving to Puerto Rico.
Could you, with the strategy, Firebun, if the math works out, let's just say I unstaked a million HEX or something, right? And I took let's just say the shares I gain are 25% more, right, on a 3-year stake, right? Or 5-year stake. If I emergency end stake, like what would because the share rate went up a little bit, right? Like 15%.
Well, you looked at, what was your example? How many years out was your example on its restake?
The one that I showed?
Yeah, on the 100.
On the 100 day?
No, on the 100,000.
On the 100,000, you did 100,000, but then you pushed it out 3,000 days, which was a
1,000 days, 2,000 days. If you do 2,500 days with half of the stack, it was nearly equivalent to the shares.
That might be a good way to just keep have some liquid HEX on hand, and then also still have all your shares locked up too. And then
you can grab the liquid and then push half of it out far enough to where you're par again, and you got liquid.
So you're good. I mean, yeah, that's why I'm I don't know, at least with my 10, at least from 7 to 15 year stakes, man, I'm good, man. Because I ain't emergency end staking those for nothing, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's gonna keep me busy. I got so many it's I gotta consolidate some of them actually eventually.
Yeah, I need a good strategy. I have a lot of them on my Google Calendar, but I want to know for sure that I'm gonna get notified when they come up, because
right.
I'm not sure if in 10 years from now I'm gonna be paying attention to that, or does Gmail even exist still?
I know 10 years is a long time to be messing with shit, I mean,
so we'll
geez.
It's nice to have one way out there. Just we don't know. Who knows what's going to happen 10 years from now with HEX?
Yeah.
12, 13 years, you're going to be was it 14 or 15 years? Where am I? I mean, it's going to be when was that stake supposed to come due? Oh shit. Oh fuck, it was last year. Damn it.
10 years from now.
A lot of shit that's going to happen to people over the years.
Yeah.
I mean, keys are going to get lost. Computers are going to get lost. I mean, oh gosh, crypto. Oh,
that scares me. That's scary, bro. Losing your keys. Holy shit. But in 10 years, I think every stake that I unstake is going to be a 10-year. 10 years from now. Because it's on my 1-year stakes or my 2-year stakes, eventually when they come due, I'll take a portion in liquid, and then I'll probably put some 5-year out, and then the other half is going to be 10-year. And then once you do hit the 10-year mark, everything you unstake is 10. That's a CD ladder. If you look at CD ladder strategies, that's how people over 10 years their yield goes up and stuff. So they have a really stable income, and that's kind of what I did with my stakes originally, because I don't know if I was the first person to put. I was one in Telegram. I was one of the first few people to actually put a staking, because Richard kept asking in Telegram way back in the day when we were still on Strape, hey, try to, what kind of a staking strategy you guys would do, and then I posted something I basically did a ladder, and then after that it would be 10-10. Yeah,
that's a pretty good idea. I wish so. When I put my stakes together, I think I weighted the bigger pays better a little higher than I should have. I think if I were to do it again, I would ladder them out and just have them go further out into the future, and maybe at a more frequent interval.
I think those matter more after big payday. I think because after that, we're just trying to get as much as we can at that point, because for the bonus. So I did a bunch of I did tons of daily stakes, which is probably dumb. But, dude, it's
Probably
ridiculous.
low at the time, hopefully. The
Yeah,
gas.
but, oh, I know the gas fees, but shit, I wouldn't even care at that point.
Yeah, true.
But once I get past big payday, what I'm probably going to end up doing is holding on to 7 days of liquid hex, then staking on the specific day, and then keeping what I keep on one wallet, sending it over to a different wallet, and then do something like that. Essentially, where eventually after year one, I've essentially consolidated my stakes to be weekly instead of daily at that point. But that was
I
just
got
fun.
sick of I tried weekly. I did like 90 days of weekly, and I'm like, fuck this. What am I doing? This is ridiculous. I don't want this shit. So then I started going like 6 months, year. Then I started pushing them out, and I said, no, that's ridiculous. You know,
I didn't even know you did 6 months. Mine's rolling like year up. Damn.
Well, no, I mean 6 months in between.
Got you.
Yeah. No, I did like a nine. I'm talking about beyond big payday. I did like 90 days I was doing like weekly stakes. I was putting them in weekly, and I'm like, why am I doing this? It's like I'm going to have to be collecting a paycheck every week and going into the bank and doing all that shit and stake, you know, remitting my coins and moving it around, all that. I was like, I don't want to do that. Just one time every 6 months or so, that'll be fine. You know,
10 years from now, we'll know all the addresses more or less privately, and we're like, look at RG3 fucking whaling it up over there.
They were talking about it. I said, I'm disappearing, man. I'm disappearing. Yeah. I'll keep my YouTube channel so I can play around with everybody. That's it.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Anything else? Any news, Litecoin? Anything out in the crypto world worth the shit talking about?
Honestly, just try to get used to using dexes. I'd say sign up to some of these dexes. The bull market's probably going to start a couple months from now, 6 months from now, 7 months from now. Who knows? During the tail end of the year, sign up to. I would say, even though don't use those exchanges, sign up to an exchange. Have it ready, because when all the influx of new people come in, you won't be able to even get onto one. Sort of like you couldn't get a Binance account, you couldn't get a Bittrex account. It's almost smart just to set yourself up right now, have your stuff ready. Boom, 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 boom. Have everything ready, locked and loaded, because at a drop of a hat, you won't be able to get in. I mean, like Coinbase, what happens when Coinbase shuts off? Like it always does. Every time there's an outlet, you know.
Yeah, even when you're in, though, you're screwed because you're in, but they turn the damn thing off.
Yeah, but I remember 2017, I think it took like weeks to get verified for your identity on Coinbase too.
Right.
Because they got so many requests, it's like they just couldn't handle it. So
yeah, I was trying to onboard people, and they were like, forget it. I ain't doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they couldn't put enough in to get the liquidity that they wanted, you know, and it was just, then I'd have to do transfers for people. They'd bring me their money, and then I'd run it through Coinbase because I can get, you know, the bigger amounts of Bitcoin. Then I'd have to send. It was a freaking joke, man. It was a joke.
But just prepare, because I mean, like right now, like it just comes out of nowhere, man. Eventually, like
it does.
I mean, it just comes out of nowhere, man. Like eventually, like if Bitcoin starts breaking up, I mean, I know Bitcoin's a dinosaur, but I mean, it will probably hit 20K at the end of the year. We'll probably test the all-time highs again. Maybe go a couple grand below, and then it'll crash down probably in January, and then start ramping up like crazy. And that's good for everybody, honestly. It's real good for everybody.
I hope so. I don't see it myself, but I hope so. I hope Bitcoin's got one more in it.
It's going to be riding on Hex's back this time, hopefully.
It is. I think so. I think if crypto's got a chance, if crypto's got a run, it's going to be with Hex, because I don't see anything else out there that's impressing me. So, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I don't think I am, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, get ready to sell your 10 Binance accounts. Yeah. I remember people actually bought those, man. They were I'm selling a Binance account. There's half a BTC in there for $30,000, and people bought them. People bought them, dude.
Really?
Yes.
I got.
Well, there's a peak bull market. There's like November, December, and stuff. Like I remember seeing ads everywhere. People are selling them on eBay.
If we have a bull run again, maybe it shuts down. I'll sell it. I remember that. I remember people couldn't get in. They were all pissed off.
Yeah, but You guys have a good. Oh, new podcast coming out Friday, I think. Yeah, Friday and Saturday. I might even do one later today, but yeah, there's new stuff dropping.
With who?
Cool.
Who you?
I'm doing a solo podcast, just kind of doing a wrap up on like what I'm doing coins wise and some Decentraland stuff, and then the Friday one is just some a Celsius one, and then later this week I might try to get like somebody from Hex community and try to do a Hex podcast as well.
Cool.
Hang out with us on Friday, or you just putting that out?
Oh no. That's a separate
Pre-recorded.
outside pre-recorded after the fact or before the FN Hangout, somewhere between there. Yeah, I can invite a couple of you guys on if you guys want to do the podcast.
Yeah,
We'll see. We'll see
Yeah.
for me. Definitely. We'll see.
I'm in trouble. I gotta go play. We're playing Pirate tonight, so of course we're playing Pirate.
No problem, man.
My son's
Yeah.
favorite. So
Nice. All right.
all right, guys. Firebun, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for all the knowledge and dropping that on everybody. You guys want to get more of Firebun? Look him up on Telegram. That's where he hangs out. Of course, his site hex.vision, where you go to get all the information that you could ever want on Hex is in there. Just start clicking, and it's like the rabbit hole of Hex charts, man. It's there's so much in there. So interesting and good to hear that you're working on some new shit. Can't wait. We'll have you back on when you bring it when you bring it out or whatever.
All right.
So that's
Peace, guys.
all right, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, Firebun. All right, everybody. Thanks for
Don't
hanging
forget
out with us. We'll catch you guys on the next one. See you.
Peace.